Hello, my name is Mackenzie Wren, and I'm so pleased and honored to be with you here today for Release and Restore. We're going to be exploring how to use art journaling for stress reduction, for inner peace, for settling our minds, for getting out whatever needs to be gotten out, as well as activating your creativity. I started journaling when I was just a child, mostly using words, and then later moved into art journaling and got particularly focused on it during COVID. I found it the predominant way that I managed my stress was by turning to my art table. Um, Art is something that many people have received so many messages about that you can't do it, you're not good. And I want the first invitation is to release all of that. And this can be done with as many supplies as you want, or it can be done simply with a piece of paper and a pen. So, key to art journaling is first doing some centering. So, I want to invite you to take a moment and think about what you might want to play with. I have here on my desk, I have glue sticks, and I have a pen and an eraser. I also just have some regular black markers, and I have crayons. I also have blank paper. I have a heavy duty paper, and the kind of paper that you use can be absolutely anything. So these are what I am working with. So I want to invite you to take a moment, pause the video, and find whatever you have close at hand. I also, because I love collage as my predominant means of expression, I have two magazines. And the first thing to get comfortable with is actually ripping up your magazines. So go ahead and pause the recording and go and find whatever you feel is going to make you happy today. Whether it's a glue stick, crayons, magazine, or just simply one pencil and a piece of paper. So now that you've gone and gotten what you need, I want to invite you to take a moment and just settle in. Find a position of dignity in your chair. Find your feet on the floor. Maybe roll your shoulders. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And take a few deep breaths. This is your time. As you breathe, just focus on whatever's coming up for you. What's going on in your body? Are you feeling particularly stressed about something? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling that there's something new on the horizon? Do you feel that there's something that you need to process? And take a moment of quiet to just settle in to what is feeling like it needs to emerge today. Just take a moment to settle in to take a moment to settle in to what might be emerging for you. Hi, my name is Mackenzie Wren, and I'm so glad to be here with you today to release and restore using art journaling for processing. I've been journaling in a variety of different ways for many, many years, and I particularly turned to art journaling during COVID. I found that it was a way to keep me sane. So today I'm going to introduce you to a little bit about the practice of art journaling and talk about some supplies, and then we're going to create some space to just create. So art journaling can sound intimidating. Many people have gotten messages that they can't do art, that you have to be a professional artist, and I am here to invite you to pull all of those voices out of your head. Art is our birthright, just like song is our birthright, and so everybody has the right and the ability to make art. And this is no judgment zone. This is for you. This is a way to tap into a part of you that is more easily accessed through colors or images rather than words. So I'm going to take a moment and show you some of the art that I did over the course of COVID. So I used what is called a passion planner, which is a particular kind of book. I stopped using it after a while, but for during COVID, it was key. And so when the world shut down, it made it easier to turn to this very rigid format where it was a day by day kind of experience. And I would just create whatever felt like emerging. And so I created every day I came to my art journal, and most everything has to do with some element of COVID or of when the world was tossed into upheaval around the uprisings of 2020. I worked a lot on time and just creating images to help me process exactly what was going on. After the murder of George Floyd and when people took to the streets, I turned to my art journal for making some meaning of that as well. And so much of these months and these days were just all about not being able to sleep, worrying about everything, seeing the numbers rise, and in some ways turning to my art journal absolutely kept me sane. And I just kept on going. Sometimes there was colors, sometimes there was images, sometimes there was writing. I used lots of magazines, just cutting up things to work on expressing what needed to come through me. These are all of the rising numbers of COVID rates, and meanwhile there was this gorgeous spring happening. So all of these ways of turning to the journal were ways to help me process. Then I got some serious food allergies, and I turned to a different kind of journal to make sense. And this journal was more simple. I don't consider myself particularly talented when it comes to drawing, so this was a place for me where I just wanted to try and release, right? Not produce anything. I just cut and pasted all kinds of different images. And then I turned to simple kinds of regular journaling. These days, I am using a very large journal that is just simply pieces of paper and working on just what is inside that needs to come out. So art journaling has no particular rules. It's just about your process. So a few of my key things are magazines, crayons, different markers, a glue stick, and of course a pencil, and the old classic pink pearl eraser. You do not need any kind of fancy equipment, right? At the very least, you need a pencil and a blank piece of paper, and a pair of scissors is helpful if you are going to be working with magazines, or you can also just rip. So I want to invite you at this point to stop the video and go and find the things that you might want to play with as we move through our time together. Great, welcome back. So now that you have assembled your supplies, I'm going to just take a moment and invite you into the process of arrival. This moment is for you. You might have 5 minutes, you might have an hour. Whatever it is, this time is for you. And so centering yourself and allowing yourself to be present in this moment. Perhaps you have a feeling of urgency in your body. Perhaps you have that sense of stealing time. Perhaps this is a Sunday and it's an amazing day of languor where you can spend as much time as you like in your creative process. However it is that you are showing up is exactly the right thing for you. So to the extent that you feel comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes, settle your body, find your feet on the floor, perhaps rolling your shoulders back. Really find what we call a place of dignity, a position of dignity, where your spine is straight, your feet are on the floor, your hands are open on your lap. And just take a moment and take a few deep breaths. And as you breathe, allow whatever is emerging to come to the forefront. What is it that is calling to you? What is it that you need to listen to? And as you tap into that voice, I'm going to invite you to just reach for your art supplies. The way this is going to work is that I'm going to tilt the camera back down. I'm going to work on my own art. I'm going to put some music on in the background, and I'm going to do exactly what you're doing. a little bit of drawing, a little bit of cutting and pasting, just seeing what wants to emerge in this particular space. First thing I do is like to just make some marks on the paper to get that freedom. Some days I'll just start with just simply a scribble. What is it that needs to emerge? And I did mention ripping. So this idea that you can just rip something and create images, collages. It doesn't have to make sense. This is for you. I find the process of ripping to be incredibly cathartic. There's an old textbook that you no longer want or need. That's particularly satisfying. And the first time I ripped a book, it was a little bit terrifying because we're taught that books are sacrosanct. And they are. And they can also be ripped up when need be. So I'm apparently working with grays and blues today. And I'm just letting what is emerging emerge. I'm thinking a lot about my physical health these days. And so here is a bit about walking and biking, two things that I absolutely love. And I'm not going to glue it down yet. I'm going to just assemble some images and see what feels alive for me. You're working, don't forget to pay attention to your body as well. Are your shoulders tight? You need to relax and just slow down. You can take your time. Again, it doesn't matter whether you have 5 minutes, whether you have an hour. This whole thing can be a meditation. There's nothing to rush with. There's no end goal. There's only this moment and this time. So I could stop here, or I could keep adding onto it. I could put words onto it. The thing with art journaling is that there truly is no right or wrong. There's only approaching it with a sense of fun and a sense of joy, or a sense of anguish, or a sense of sadness, whatever is coming up for you. So as I'm thinking about these rainbows, I'm also thinking about a loss that I had in my life, and thinking about how, underneath this rainbow is also some grief that needs to be expressed. I definitely find that not overthinking, right? So just kind of like following whatever is coming up. Just making marks on the page, red, orange, yellow. Where's my green? also part of my processing was the state of our democracy and the need for voting. So from my musings on the rainbow came this idea of all the stress that I've been feeling, and so the rain coming down with some of the different issues, but all of that waters and nourishes the vote box so that our democracy can thrive. I hope this has been a nourishing time for you. Remember that even if you are taking a simple pencil and a simple, maybe not even eraser, maybe whatever you put down you don't need to erase, taking a simple piece of paper and a simple pencil and coming and letting the images speak, the marks on the paper, let that be a release with no judgment, with no evaluation. Whatever comes out is exactly the right thing to come out. And as you begin to work with this, let the paper be the recipient of whatever it is. And then you can either rip it up and never look at it again, or you can put it away and come back to it in other times. I hope that this session has been nourishing for you, and I hope that you enjoy moving forward with a personal art practice. Be well.